Good morning, afternoon and evening my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady and welcome back to this week's Whips, Bits and Chat. Now this week has been horrendously hot for us here in the UK. We're not used to it unless we're paying to fly over to some foreign country. So this week's Whips, Bits and Chat has been recorded in segments at stupid o'clock in the evening when I was hoping it would be cooler. But the temperature's still sitting at a balmy, what are we on? 26 degrees and it's 11 o'clock at night. Help! I'm melting! Right, so first up today, of course, we have our video roundup. So this week was quite standard with the amount of videos that I got out to you. So the first video up this week was for the Stitch a Week, and it was the crocodile stitch. So here we go. This is my little square. Okay, and that tutorial, as I said, went up earlier on in the week. Link, of course, to any videos that I mentioned today will be up in the I button unless I go over 5. If I go over 5, it will be in the description box down below. Okay, now that one is a short, sharp and quick, and of course you can use this stitch to make any items you like. Okay, the stitch counts and stuff that you would need if you were changing up the pattern is in the description box of the video. Okay, the next video that went out was of course a book review, and it was for the Crochet Stash Busters by Nikki Trench. I've had a few girls comment on it. Not many of us are that keen on that one, I'm sorry to say, but for having a quick nose and maybe pulling out a couple of ideas, it wasn't a bad look, was it? Then our last video up was the Throwback Friday, and it was number 69, and it is the Christmas pattern ones. Now of course these are the videos from last year, and hopefully most of the patterns will still be available for free on the internet somewhere, and it means that you've got a couple of extra patterns that you might want to have a go at this side of Christmas this year. So at least now I've given you a little bit more time to get them made, because of course my Christmas videos always came out in December. It was a bit late, wasn't it? Mega late. Okay, so first up, what have I been up to this week? Right, I popped into Cheltenham. I went to the shops on the outskirts because I was dropping my daughter off at school, and I'm desperate to get my hands on some basic, boring white cotton, because I've got some dyes up on the shelf that I bought, what, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago now, and from Lidl's, and it was a tie-dye kit, and I thought, oh, I can use that for my acrylic yarn. Turns out I don't dye acrylic. So got to go and buy some cotton, which is cool because hey, I can't, it's not like I can use a normal wool and dye normal wool. So I've gone up to Cheltenham, as I said, and I've popped to the very first shop, which is one of my favourite shops, which is the Range. So I popped in there to start with because I open their doors at like 8:30 in the morning, and it's nice and cool and it's air conditioned. So in I've gone, and I've waddled my way up. I've got to say it like that. It's either waddle or there's got to be another term, but basically I've waddled my way up to where their yarns are, and I had a look. Not a single cotton was there. Okay, and the shelves are getting pretty bare. So I've turned back round and I've plodded, and I've gone to the next shop next door, which happens to be Dunelm. I love this shopping centre area because everything's so close. Right, I walk into Dunelm. Now if you haven't seen it, I have put a video up in the past with a Dunelm yarns in. So if I've got room, I will link it up here, but if not, there'll be a link in the description box down below. Now I've walked in there and I said to the lass on the front door, got any cotton? She went, oh, I've got cotton towels, we've got cotton bedding. I went, whoa, let me stop you there. I just want a bog standard cotton to crochet with. She went, I don't think we've got any. She's gone, we've moved that area of the shop around a bit because we've brought in different sets of crafting stuff. I'm like, right, okay, what's she trying to tell me here? I went, okay, I will go and have a look. So I've plodded up there. And honestly, the amount of choice they had there was diabolical. There was less shades and less choice than what I've got in that cube there. Okay, that was it. I've actually got more different colours in there than what they had in their shop. So, out I go again. And I walk on to the next section of the industrial estate where they've got a B&M. Now, I go in there quite regularly, so I'm thinking, no, they're not going to have any. I was right, they didn't. So out I've gone. Now, the reason those shops don't stock a lot of yarn in that area is because there is a Hobbycraft on that estate. So, of course, everybody knows you go to Hobbycraft for your yarn. Prices are through the roof. You need a second mortgage. But, hey, you pop in there and you get what you can. So, in I've gone, up the stairs I've gone, and I start going through all of their yarns. And they've got like 4 rows or whatever. So, I'm looking through it, picking it up. That's cotton acrylic. Okay. Oh, finally I found a cotton. £5.60 they want for 100 grams. I'm like, don't even feel nice, right? Then the only other one they had was the little 25 gram balls, or 20 gram balls, I think it is, that you're meant to use for origami. They're £1 a pop, and I thought, well, I could get one of those, but it's not worth opening the dies up for 25 grams. So I'm sitting there quickly doing the maths. I'm like, okay, that is cheaper than the 100 gram one, but it's definitely not going to be nice to work with because it's designed for origami. It's designed to last, blah, blah. So I keep looking around and I couldn't find anything that was sort of under the £5 mark, really, apart from, of course, that little mini ball. And I thought, no, I'm not bothering with that. And so I come out and I had to come home. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, now I've got to hunt for some cotton. Now I've gone on to, of course, the Secret Yarn Stash. I've had a look at the cottons that they have there. And I've also looked around on a couple of other different websites as well. And I think I may have found a cotton that I like the price of. And it's got glitter in it. So it's going to make the colours bounce even more. So I might have to order that, but I'm waiting to see if I can remember pretty much what the site was where I found it. So it's going to be a mega hunt again. So if anybody knows who's based in the UK, okay, anyone from the UK, if you know of somewhere where they do 100% cotton, ideally stuff that's been undyed, so that I can just dye it up with that kit, can you stick it in the comment section down below? Cheers! Now, of course, as I've said, it's hot here on Monday. So I've got a couple of little videos that are coming up of our cheeky Liam. He can't understand why he's not allowed in the garden. Okay, my daughter is taking him out for a walk first thing in the morning, or should I say at about 6 o'clock in the morning. They plod out the door and then they come in at 7, just in time for me to roll out of bed. Yay! So he's getting a decent walk first thing while it's nice and cool, and then he's being locked up in the house. Okay, so we close we open every window downstairs until about 8 o'clock in the morning, and then they all get closed up, and we hope that we can keep the temperature in the house down. So on average our house is sitting at about 28 degrees. So yes, it's hot, but it's not as hot as it would be if we had the windows open. So we've got all the windows closed, all of the curtains closed, and it's like, what is going on? The weather's lovely, let me out. So I've got a couple of little videos now to show you of what he was like. Oh, Liam, you can be as cute as you like, mister, but you are not getting the chicken bone. No, not getting the chicken bone. not for Liam. You're not having the chicken bone. No, 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 no. You are so cute. Door's open. You can go to the loo. And as for the chicken bone, you're not having it. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No chicken bone. No, no, no. Nice try. It's not going to work. Another day, another update. Okay, so last week I did show you that I had finished a set of granny squares, but that I was doing 2 different styles of granny squares and that I had a lot more to make, and thankfully I managed to get them done. So I've now got 2 piles of granny squares in, oh nightmare, in 2 different patterns here, big wad of them. And I've also managed to get the half squares done in one colour, one of the styles, which is that style. So I've got that one's half squares done. I've now just this second finished making the pile that matches this one, but the ends aren't sewn in, so I'm not showing you. So let's keep this project going for the rest of this week. Hopefully I will have it to you. So I'll have it finished so I can show it to you next week, but I've got this horrible feeling it is going to take a heck of a lot longer. I've got to peg them all out yet. Right, so I'm actually recording on Saturday, and yesterday, Friday, I had popped over to OMG Granny Squares channel. Hi honey. And I got to go up on her panel where I got to cheekily ask the girl that knows what she's doing with granny squares how to join them, and I'd already joined a section, so I was like, am I doing it correct? And she said, well, if it's working for you, that's a bonus. Okay, so as I showed all of her family members, and some of you probably sneaked a peek then, I thought I'd best show you on here. So here it is. There we go. I think that's, I'm about to show you the back. I don't actually know. Okay, so here it is as it stands at the moment. I've got 3 rows that I've joined together, so it's 3 rows of 5 different squares. So there you go, and that's as far as it's got. So that is the top part of the top, if it works, that is part of the top, and it's going from the bust down. So I'm just trying to work out whether I'm going to need a bit more to cover my bum. And I've now realised that I've completely changed the pattern around that I was using as a guide, and I'm going to have to make even more full granny squares. Oh, because I've already added an extra length on to what the pattern said, and I've also added a different border style or joining style. So that's how it looks on one side, and here is how it looks on the other. Okay, so it's slightly raised, but what I'm doing is I'm going round the edge of one square, or the first square. So there we go. So we go round the edge first on 3 sides, and then I grab my next granny square and I start working down it, and as I do one part of the granny stitch, I then take a step over to the previous one and slip stitch it, and then I come back again, and I'm doing that. So it's a granny square on one side, slip stitch on the other to join all the way along. And then when I've got a little cheeky trick that I do for the corner here, and then I go all the way along the bottom. There we go. Yep, all the way along the bottom, and then up the side of the square, the second square, and then I join the third square. And by doing exactly what I've done on the second square, and I do that until I get to the end, and then a granny stitch all the way along, or back along, and then I have to cut my yarn off and start it again to then do the join and work it all out. It took me a little while, and I nearly forgot what I was doing, so I ended up having to send myself some voice messages, so that when I pick it up again and carry on with it, I just play it. I'm telling myself how I've joined it, because it's not something that I'm used to doing, and it was roughly based off of an image that I saw. I can't even think where, but I saw an image of some granny squares joined, about 3 or 4 months ago, easy, and it just pinged into my head, but the picture didn't actually have a how it's done section. It was, so that is definitely a I've not done no research, I'm just running with it and hoping it stays in one piece and doesn't fall apart. But it's getting there. And the colours and yarn I'm using are the 4-ply Special by Stylecraft. Now, I don't know if these colourways are still in existence or even if this brand still makes it, because I got these balls that I'm using today. I actually got a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, right at the beginning when I started this channel, when I went through my mystery box phase. I got them in a mystery box, and I have 2 of each of the green, which is this one here, and this is, oh, this one here is called a Meadow. Okay, it doesn't show up too nicely at the moment because I've got a secondary light on. And then the pink shade is called the Pale Rose, and I'm mixing that up with the standard white. It's all from the same ball band style, okay, and it's all 4-ply. And you know what, I'm really not keen on this yarn. I thought it might have been because I was sent to pull in that the yarn itself was splitting. It was untwisting as I was working, so I started working it from the outside of the ball and it made no difference at all. So yeah, it's slow going making these because I can't speed through them like I would normally have done if I was using the Pato Everyday DK that's over my shoulder. That one seems to hold its spin a lot better, or its twist, sorry, a lot better. So yeah, I definitely won't be paying the £2 something per ball for any more of that. Definitely not. It's definitely one off of my buying list, which I thought it would be, just down to the price. But of course, if you like the look of how these colours have teamed up together, when I finish the project I will give you all the extra details. But then of course, if you wanted to swap it up to the 4-ply, from the 4-ply, sorry, to a DK weight yarn, I will also give you those details as well. But that's for later on in the month once I finish it. I was hoping to be a lot further along than I actually have managed, but it got too hot. That's my excuse. I wanted to start working with cotton and I'm like, still ain't got none. Or found a pattern that I like. Right. Now, one of my gorgeous favourite shops that is in a town close to me in Tewkesbury have started making their own honey, and they're selling it off in the shop. Now, this is the shop that I told you about a couple of weeks ago, that where there is a lot of crafting items, and I've been really lucky and they've been very supportive with me over the years. That's where the first load of wool that I collected to make poppies, and they were the ones that collected it in for me. They've been ever so supportive over the years. So of course they've got this a new range of honey coming in, which is from their own hives in their own garden. And so I sent her a message the other day and I said, look, I've got a bumblebee that I've crocheted up, which was of course Jojo the bee, which is a pattern by YOH Crochet that I tested for her when or should I say before the pattern came out. A link to her channel will be in the description box and down below, if I haven't got room in the I button, okay. And so basically I said to her, look, I've got this bee sitting here that's just collecting dust at mine. I could bring it up to you and drop it off and you can use it for advertising purposes. We can't flog it because it's made with Audi yarn and I can't get all the right paperwork for it, but you can use it as a bit of a, it will draw people's eyes to the honey, because of course it's yellow and black and all the rest of it. So she said, oh, go on then, I'll have it on long-term loan. I'm like, sweet. So I dropped him off today, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to nick a picture of the display with him sitting there with a big fat smile on his face, to show you now. So let's have a look. Right, that is it for me for today. I didn't receive any pictures this week. It's okay though, I understand it was really hot and I was really evil. So Yeah, we'll see if we get any in next week. Fingers crossed we will, because hopefully next week I'll do a square that's not so evil and cantankerous. So, right, so that is it for me for today. I'm going to head off now, so please remember to stay chilled, stay happy and keep crafting. Ta-ra for now, everybody.